colorism. He picked one over the other, but when you start to add yellow and this, that, and the third, it does create. It's divisive. It's extremely divisive, and it's offensive. So if you would say, "I'm the bitch that he wants,"
That's
then
good, Bo.
That would
I
be
like that.
more catchy.
hold on, because see, me as a songwriter, and I've written big records for people. Um, it'll be little things like that that I'll come in and I'll say like, yeah, can we find a better way to say this? Because I know how language, dialect, and tone affects us. You know, I understand the uh, the sonics of how we receive certain shit, and people also understand the way society has been shaped. So when they say like yellow, it's definitely a status symbol. When they say that, when Pop Smoke is like red bones, yellow bones, it's because it's been so highly praised. If everybody thought that yellow bones, red bones, and light skins was trash, no rap nigga would be screaming it out in their lyrics. So we got to understand that society has shaped us to believe that one is better than the other based on the origins of slavery, how they divided the darker slaves and the lighter ones were fair skinned and they were able to, be closer to the master's table and, more desirable in that
I have
way. And we
I have a question.
inherited. Am I not
Hold on, let
speaking?
him
I
finish,
have,
please. Uh,
Yeah. And
okay.
we have been indoctrinated to discriminate, especially under the Jim Crow and all those things against each other. So this is definitely a moment to educate and expound upon the topic. So I'll leave it there and then we can move.
I wanted to
If
go
I
after you, King Los.
okay, go ahead, Queen.
Hey y'all, I saw the title and it made me interested because I had a room about this topic for like, I mean, we was in there for like 15 hours talking about colorism. And so me, I'm chocolate, right? My picture is they look a little red, but I'm chocolate. I used to rap, right? And when I rapped, I described my skin tone as chocolate, and none of the light skinned friends of mine ever felt any type of way. Now I do understand the situation with the baby and all the different stuff, so I do understand that she might have been throwing shots, but as a unit, right, as Black people, right. We can't come in and address the situation and say, "Oh hell no, she yellow bone and she's saying a yellow bone is what this nigga want, so I'm mad." Right? We gotta address it like, okay, she talking about herself. She not gonna come on and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a dark skinned bitch and that's what he want," because she not. She's yellow. So if I address myself as a chocolate drop, right? I don't feel that my yellow skinned friend should be offended. But now also me, I'm not colorist, right? I love all my friends from high yellow to pitch black, right? And so if we have that colorism in our brain to where we already feel that the high yellow girl gets the token. The high yellow girl is on a pedestal. If you already have that mentality in your head where you feel like that the light skinned girl gets privilege, then of course when somebody come in and say, "Oh, I'm high yellow and I'm this," you're gonna feel offended. So that's a self problem. We got to start with ourselves. You got to take that out your mind to where you feel like the high yellow bone is getting privileged. Because I can tell you one thing: if that's what you feel, create your own opportunities for yourself. Because nobody can turn you away despite your skin tone. You know, we talked about all the paper bag sack color thing that they did back in the day to see if you was this light, then you get to come in this college or you get to be in this sorority and things like that. That's not what's happening right now. What is happening right now is they might pick a lighter skinned girl for a role or for a video shoot, and that's all fine. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Go shoot your own damn video, and you'll be the first one in the video, whatever your skin tone is. We have to get out of the colorism within the Black community ourselves first. We got to get that thought out of our brain, and that's where it all begins. Once we stop being colorist with each other, just because somebody say she light skinned, it's not gonna bother us. I love light skin, and I'm black as hell. You hear me? And so it is what it is.
Can I
Yeah, I kind of,
respond? Can I
I
can
respond
I
just
to that?
hold on,
add on to
hold on.
that?
Wait. Give me a second. Then we'll let y'all respond. I disagree with that rhetoric. Um, I think that is uh dangerous. Um, because there's a reason why if you're chocolate, and if that's what you want to refer to your the darkness of your skin is chocolate. If you're chocolate, the reason why you can say that and no one can be offended by it is because dark was demonized. forever and still is. So when you say you're dark, it's a symbol of liberation. It's a voice of breaking the barriers, and it's about being proud. Now, when you if you say yellow bone is what he wants, a dark person can be offended by it because of what happens in societies. And if it wasn't for dark women, there would be no color women, because dark women are the foundation of the black tone, and every color comes out of taking away from darkness. So when you have the darkest woman, the only way you get a light-skinned woman is to add something that's more regressive. And more times that you add it, you get lighter, and lighter and lighter, because they have more melanin, and they have more ability to trap sunlight into their skin through the melanocytes that transmutes that sunlight into melanin. So there's always been something demonized about darker women, because they are the magic, they are the essence, the foundation, or the backdrop to everything that's projected as light. So you go from the darkest woman, and then you go to the lightest woman, just in the black spectrum, not even till you get to white people, but just from black. And then we also create albinos.
Right.
All
I was
right,
just about to ask that.
two completely dark people, right, can create an albino. So dark is the gene that creates everything. So the darkness is the mother. So you can there. I get what you're saying, not being offended by a light-skinned woman saying this, but to your dark daughter, who has to grow up in a society where it's not just about getting picked for a video. First of all our women aren't just going for videos. They're going for jobs. They're going for corporate America. What about corporate America, where they're picking that light-skinned woman over that dark-skinned woman in corporate America, and telling the dark-skinned woman that she got nappy hair, and telling the lighter woman that she got nice hair, or telling that person with the light eyes that they got pretty eyes, and telling that brown-eyed child that their eyes are just regular. You didn't get
Well,
you didn't get
I
you,
want to ask you a question, King
hold on,
Ghost.
hold on. You gotta let me finish the way I let you finish, Queen. So what I'm saying is, it's so much deeper than us getting out of our own way. Even though we do need to get out of our own way, we first need to be educated onto the root of the problem. How did we come to this? And that's why in the title I put light skin privilege, racism, and segregation. Because even when you go back to segregation, there were some black people who were able to sneak in as white people, because they were more fair skinned, and they didn't look like the black person that had their ass whipped, that got beat up, that got shot, killed, hung, all kind of shit. The little black girl was getting hung.
That
So
part.
this goes deep. This goes really, really deep. And like I said, I just want to use this as a platform to educate us. But yeah, you can go ahead.
So, and I completely agree with everything you're saying. That's not. I'm not saying that it's not wrong and that it does not exist. That is not what I'm saying. I completely understand that it exists. I came from a family with all different skin tones. My great grandfather passed as a white man, right? And so I completely understand how colorism works. So I'm well educated on colorism. My thing is here at the point that we are right now. How do we heal from it, right? And that's the type of person I am. Okay, we got this problem. What's the solution? So I'm not discrediting anything or anybody's feelings or any of the colorism that anybody has gone through. But I do feel like it starts at home. So I have multitude of colors of my children, and I make sure all of them know how beautiful their skin, their eyes, and their hair are, and they all three of them look different. And so that's what I'm basically saying. We have to start at home with our own children and teach them how beautiful their skin is, despite what the outside world is going to say or what they may see, right? And then as far as the jobs and all of those things, I'm around a lot of dark skinned women who are at the top of their positions, and they might have went up against a lighter skinned woman. So at that point, it's really about the perception of the person who is hiring them, right? And that's how it goes. We live in a world where some people might base, what you can or can't do or what you're capable of doing on your skin tone, and that's not the type of position that I would want to be in the first place. So we have to still, at the end of the day, we still have to look inside ourselves and say, hey, is this really a place that I want to be? Because he gave the lighter skinned girl the position over me, You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking on a healing aspect more of than, I do understand that it's happening, but we still, even though we're talking about it, and even though we are explaining the root of it and how it all happened and where we came from, we still have to start with ourselves in order to heal and get past it. That's basically all I'm saying.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Queen.
May I interject?
I wholeheartedly agree.
But walking away from that position doesn't. What?
May I interject, please?
Hold on, the young lady that's just speaking. Let her finish.
I just feel like walking away, her saying the comment about in the corporate world, if that's the person whose I decides to hire and you walk away from it, well, that's not the position I want anyway. Okay, so that keeps that person with that type of mentality in that position instead of fighting back, because at that point, you're letting that prolong. I'm not going to walk away from that position because of what you think. Okay, so now I know that there's a problem here.
Hey, look, Queen, listen, to piggyback off what you just said. Now watch this. There's a young lady in my room the other day when we were talking about colorism, we were tapping on it. This is a light-skinned woman, right? A fair-skinned woman, lighter than DaniLeigh damn near. And guess what she said? She said she works in corporate America. And she said she was discriminated against. Guess why she was discriminated against? Because she had African braids in her hair. So watch this. Her braids were cultural. She had the big box braids, right? And she got discriminated against. She came back and got that manager fired for discriminating against her and pulling on her hair and calling it, discriminatory terms, I guess, whatever, how they can make little racist terms, little things of that nature. So here's a light skin. So here's a light skinned woman, right? Because it was, brother, if you've been a black person, you've got your hair touched or pulled by a white person in this lifetime at some point in time, or they referenced your hair, because it's so amazing. Because black hair is amazing. And when you know the science on black hair, you know that black hair is the only hair that's actually hair, meaning living. Okay? White hair is not living. It's dead. Black hair is living. It's an antenna. And it's connected to the sun. So this gets really deep. So here we got a light-skinned woman who's mixed, being discriminated against because she wore cultural hair. And she used some of her privilege to come back and get that boss fired. So we're telling the dark-skinned woman to walk away, that she shouldn't even want to be there.
Absolutely.
And again, that's that same thing that leaves us disproportionately affected when you're dark. And when you're dark, it's like you just got to deal with it, and it gets deep.
I have a question, Lo.
Is it okay? Okay.
Go ahead, young man.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with what both y'all are saying. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate for a second because I know where you're coming from.
I hate devil's advocate, but go ahead.
I know. I'm not going to. I ain't gonna light no fuse. I'm just
but I need you to stand on something. Devil's advocate.
No.
Means
I'm most definitely.
No, let him explain. Hold on. Go ahead, Los. What were you trying to explain?
No, I'm just saying when people come in and say I'm gonna play devil's advocate, they never stand on anything firmly. It's a good way to play the middle. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm most definitely not playing the middle. Like, I have a very firm standpoint. Like I said, I understand where you're coming from, and I also agree with what you said. Okay, so when I'm saying that I'm playing devil's advocate, I'm just asking a question for the audience because you are intelligent enough to answer this. Okay, bro. So, yeah, I know. I got that avatar. I look like I'm trolling. I'm not trolling, bro. I just like that thing. Okay, so with what she said with walking away, which I do think you're in a situation where you
gotta
know
roll your window up or something, bro. Cause
I got you. Like if you're in a situation where you know that you have a losing hand and you know that your worth is more than that, and you have the confidence and the teaching and the understanding from a household to be able to do that, and you know that you can create something, that would be best to back yourself in any situation. The best person to back is you, right? So, and also, like, I agree with what you said with what they said with the lady, you know, because I have also have friends that was inside that situation where, you know, they discriminate against you because you're different, because they're so infatuated, they're just constantly crossing the line. So I understand that, and you should stand on that if that's where you want to be. So my question is this towards you. Um, if if she, what would be wrong with that lady that was discriminated against? If she did doing the same thing that she did, she talked to the person, she activated against them as she rightfully should have because she had her rights violated. So that's most definitely what she should have did. But my question is, what would be wrong with her if she also chose to leave? Because being in a corporate setting, being a colored person in a corporate setting, you got to go through a lot of shit. You know, like, you know what you're signing up for. So, you know, if you're there, you know what you're signing up for. But that's not saying that you cannot yourself create a system. Like, they didn't do this overnight. Like, this society wasn't created overnight. So what would be wrong with that lady in that set scenario leaving that situation? Because it doesn't matter. You're in a situation where you're being discriminated against no matter what. It's going to keep happening. So why not take that time and resources that you have to create a society, even if you wanted to play double on it and
All
not
right,
leave your job,
let
but
me
build.
answer you
What
because
would
I
be
get the
wrong with
gist
that?
of your question. I get the gist of your
Yeah,
question. Let me answer you. And mute your mic, Saki. Okay, so dig this. Um, it's never wrong to leave. It's never wrong to say, fuck y'all, I'm out. Okay? It's actually very powerful to say, fuck you, I'm out, and go establish something of your own. But it's not fair to tell someone to leave. That's what's not fair. So if you make the decision to leave, you have the same right to stay and fight. You have the same right to fight for what you earned. You're in corporate America. Not everybody is uh has a self-owned business or is in the same motivational field of, yo, I'm gonna build this from the ground. Some people had different upbringings and the way they were raised, it was more foundational on getting into corporate America and working in that understanding. You know, so
that's true.
we can't mold everybody into like, yo, just walk away and go start your own business and be the first this, the first that. Not everybody is a fucking pioneer. You know, I mean, that's just the different energies, and we got to respect different energies because then you got to get into a person's astrological background. What are their signs? What are they good in dealing with? Not everybody is a chief. Some people are Indians, and we have to respect that. That a chief gonna quit anyway, because the chief don't even want to be up under no motherfucking corporate structure, right?
Most
Because
chiefs
just
don't.
so when you go start your business as a chief, that same black woman might come work for you, not as a boss, not as an owner, but as an Indian in your village of chiefhood. So we can't take her and tell her what to fucking do. We can only say, look, do what you feel is right. And that's the difference. So it ain't so much of making an opposing argument of, well, if that's it, then that ain't even where you should be anyway, because that's the narrative. The narrative is that you don't belong here.
That's true.
So if you leave, then you're adding to the rhetoric. And in another instance, but if you say, if you fight, you still might not make it in that place, right? But if you fight, it's still about fighting. It's still about like, yo, or maybe that is the setting that, like P. Diddy, you get fired and you go start Bad Boy. So
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of ways to look at it, but to tell a dark-skinned woman, look, this ain't even where you want to be. But the light-skinned woman already in her privilege feels like, nah, nigga, I'm about to fight for this. You see
But
that
could that
even the
also be
difference
looked
in,
at as feeding the beast, though?